My name is Plia Kettner, and I love cats.
Welcome to the Finding Favorites podcast, where we explore your favorite things without using an algorithm. Here's your host, Leah Jones.
Hello and welcome to Finding Favorites. I'm your host, Leah Jones, and this is the podcast where we learn about people's favorite things without using an algorithm. Once again, not sitting in my apartment in Chicago, not sitting on Zoom, but instead I'm high above the city of Tel Aviv in Israel with Plia Kettner. Plia, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. It's great to meet you.
It's good to meet you. So I think technically we know each other from ROI.
Yeah.
What year did you go?
2011.
Okay. That makes sense. So ROI, which people who listen to the podcast have heard of because Yvonne Marzouk was ROI, Esther Kustanowicz, Shai Korman. A lot of my Jewish friends around the world,
Great people.
great people, are in the ROI community. So you were asking, why do I come to Israel? It's to see friends from ROI and friends who have become like family. And so I'm just here on vacation, back for the first time since COVID, since Corona, and seeing friends, recording podcasts, and drinking coffee when I can find it.
When there is room service.
Yeah. Yeah. They also, at the front desk here, have bottles and bottles of liquor. And so last night I went and I said, could I have a whiskey? Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh no, that's only for looks.
For looks, okay.
For the beauty. And I'm like, but there's actual
fluids inside.
Put them in my body. They're like, you can have, like, there was kava, which is nice, but it's not whiskey.
No.
So yeah.
I think you should complain about it to the management of
of Brown hotels.
Yeah.
Because it used to, most of the Brown hotels have like a bar or have room service.
Have room service. They say they will have room service start on 12th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the day I leave. Yeah.
Like 12 at the noon.
Oh, at noon they'll
Yeah.
have it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. What is it that we talked a little bit about how you are in your municipal government of Kfar Saba.
For Saba, yeah. For the listeners, the meaning is Grandpa's village.
Grandpa's village?
Yes.
Aww. Is Kfar village in Saba? Mm-hmm.
And Saba, it's grandpa.
Yeah.
But actually it's come from Arabic name of a village who were there before. So it's not really the meaning, but yeah. But today when you say the name of this city, this is the meaning.
That's so funny. It's the suburb. It's the suburb of Tel Aviv.
Of Tel Aviv, yeah.
That I feel like all of my friends are moving to with children.
To Kfar Saba?
I think so.
It considered to be like more quiet cities than Tel Aviv, and also Kfar Saba considered to be one of the best cities like with education system. Yeah. So a lot of young parents they think about the education system for the children. Yeah. So they come to Kfar Saba, and it's actually, when we don't have traffic, it's like 20 minutes from Kfar Saba to Tel Aviv. So you're still very close to the center. Yeah. You can visit Tel Aviv anytime you want. And so a lot of people, when they start to have families, like, I think this is the area they go to. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I've been seeing, because I stay in Tel Aviv. I usually stay a little bit in Jerusalem, a little bit in Tel Aviv. And more, like, nobody's left in Jerusalem that I know. Mm-hmm. Like 3 people are left. And in Tel Aviv, everybody's moving north.
Yeah, so. And also Tel Aviv became very expensive.
Right.
So, when you consider what you can get for the same amount, between Kfar Saba and Tel Aviv. Of course, in Kfar Saba you will get more.
Yeah.
And it will be more comfortable.
Yeah, I guess on my next trip I'll have to stay
Yeah, in Kfar Saba.
Yeah, just to see people more.
Yeah, we have, a lot of nice, like, culinary places. And when I have friends who come from abroad, I take them to see also the settlements, because Kfar Saba, it's like a border city. Actually, we have a border with Kalkilia, which is the closest city from like in Palestine Authority, and there are areas like I think that Kfar Saba, you can see a lot of special things in this city, although it's considered to be suburbs of Tel Aviv, because it deals with a lot of questions that the Israeli society deal with. And I mean, for example, in Israel, you can be buried, like when you die, only in the Orthodox way, Orthodox Jewish way, I mean. And if you want to be buried in a secular way, you have graveyards in kibbutz that give this option, and the only cities that give this option is Kfar Saba. So for residents who live in Kfar Saba, they get it for free. If you come from out of Kfar Saba, you will have to pay. But there is this option. And the nice thing, and it's kind of funny to say that I'm taking my friends from abroad to see graveyards, but I show them the differences. Those two graveyards are next to each other, the secular one and the Orthodox one. And they can see, because it looks different, so they see the secular one and the Orthodox one, and then they learn about, like, the way in Israel, like how we do things in Israel in this case. And the fact that Kfar Saba, considered to be a rich city, if we are 8, and we have a border with Kalkilia, and you can see from Kfar Saba how they live in Kalkilia, and to understand the conflict, and to understand how it's effect on people in a lot of ways. I'm talking about the simple people, not the politician. And to talk with Palestinians, that sometimes they go through Kfar Saba from Palestine Authority to their work inside Israel, and to understand they, for example, need a special visa to work. Like, it's for them, it's like going abroad, when they come to work inside Israel. And sometimes, if you don't have a work here, you can get a visa look for a job. And by the way, it's the same as in the EU between countries. That if you live in the EU, if you are a citizen, you can move from one country to another, but still you have to get a permission. It's easier, but you have to get a permission. So you can say, I want to come to, I don't know, to Spain, to Italy, to look for a job. And then you get like a permission to look for a job.
For like 90 days or whatever.
Yeah, forever they, for what they give. I don't remember the number of days, but it has a limit. So you, during staying in Kfar Saba, you can see a lot of like questions that the Israeli society deal with. And also Kfar Saba is surrounded by kibbutz and kibbutzim and moshavim in Hebrew, plural in like kibbutz in plural and moshav in plural. And we are a city, so again you can see another thing that the Israeli society deal with, like different ways of living, to live in a city and to live in a moshav, to live in a kibbutz. Moshav and kibbutz are ideological ways to live. It's not just a village like abroad.
So I knew a kibbutz was ideological.
Yeah. And also moshav.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I thought moshav was just a regular village, but it's not.
No. It's not. This is the thing that, like, it gives you to think about ways to live, what you prefer, and like in the kibbutz, at least in the past, they shared more things. And when I'm talking about share more things, it's like the children didn't live with the parents. They live in a children's house. They sleep together. And there was like every adult used to work in something inside the kibbutz.
Yeah.
So one of the adults was like a keeper for the children, kind of a guard, and another one, he worked in the fields, and another one worked with the cows, and etc., etc. And you didn't have anything that belonged to you, like personal things. Of course, you didn't have your property.
Right.
If you died, like your children didn't get your house. The house went back to the kibbutz, and they decided what to do with this. And in the moshav, they have things they share together, but they didn't share like children's house, and they didn't share, like, not everybody walked inside the moshav. You can have your own business, you can walk outside of the moshav, you can have your own property, but there were things that still shared, and
Okay.
so it's actually ideological way to live. You had to decide what you prefer, or to live in the city where you have your own property, and like, let's say it's more like a capitalistic way of living.
Okay. So from Kfar, from
Saba. Kfar Saba.
So from Kfar Saba, you can really see like all of the choices and opportunities and challenges of being in Israel.
Yeah, and between religious and secular, between social way of living and a capitalist way of living, between Jewish and Arabs and Palestinian people. Really, all the questions.
Wow. And have you always lived in Kfar Saba?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Kfar Saba. I had 2 years in Tel Aviv when I was a student. I used to study in Tel Aviv University. I lived in Florentine.
Okay, yeah.
Florentine neighborhood. It's like the neighborhood for students and artists and things like that. I kind of had one year, my 1 year in Stockholm, Sweden. Because of COVID.
Right.
So I had a partner there, and I went going like forth, between Israel and Sweden. And because it was COVID and we didn't know every time when we will meet, every time I went there, for a long time, not just for a couple of days, like it was before. And then I found myself stuck there.
Yeah. You said before we turned on the microphone that you were the reason that your lawsuit that went to the Supreme Court was the reason the skies reopened in Israel.
Yeah.
For citizens.
It was like we had 4 appeals for the Supreme Court. I will explain, because not every appealing is the same as the other one. The first one was actually because they closed the sky. Actually, they closed the sky all over the world. The EU closed the sky, and for people who are not citizens, and Israel closed the sky for people who are not citizens. And because I had a partner who is not a citizen, an Israeli citizen, and I didn't have a EU passport, so we couldn't meet each other.
Right.
And therefore, I founded the campaign "We Want to Meet Each Other."
Right.
In English, in Hebrew, it's "משפחות רוצות להתאחד." You can look for this campaign during the web, wewanttomeet.com, because I explained there like what I did and like all the steps. And the thing was that like I started with the media. It was a campaign in the media, in social media. I gathered with me a huge number of Israelis who have or partners or family members abroad. And sometimes, it's not just partners, because family members, it's a big word, big words. And sometimes there are like cases that you move abroad as an Israeli, and you give birth there, and your children are not considered to be citizens. And if you wanted, and we had cases like that, to come with your children to meet your parents, so the children will meet their grandparents, the children couldn't enter to Israel. And I also gathered with me 3 wonderful women, actually 4, because the fourth one came later, but 3 of them had like personal story. And one of them, Ilah Nachmani, she moved to Belgium because of her partner, who is Belgium, her husband. And she gave birth for the first time before COVID. So her daughter, she became an Israeli citizen. But then she gave birth right before we met. We met, by the way, I never met her
in person.
In person.
Right.
It was only during the web. And she gave birth right before we met, so it was during COVID. And all the embassies and consuls around the world were closed too, so her son couldn't be an Israeli citizen.
Wow.
So when she, and also she breastfed him, and when she wanted, he became very ill, and she had to come here to be with her father. But Israel told her, like the state told her, no, you cannot come with your son, even though he's a really small baby and you breastfeeding. So she told me I have to choose between my sick father and my really small baby. So I had a lot of crazy stories like that. And after we made the campaign in the media, I talked with a member of the parliament. Now she's minister. Now she's a minister, environment minister, Tamar Zandberg. And she took care that we will have 2 meetings, like 2 discussions in the Corona committee in the parliament. And we got some, let's say, possibilities for like stories. For example, if you have a partner and he wants to move here in Israel and you already signed as registered as partners here, so he could enter to Israel. But cases like me and my who were there, my partner, we didn't register here as a couple because we never thought he will move to live in Israel. For him, he had his job in Sweden. He was after 50, after 55 even. And in this age to move to another country, that the language is not like, it's not like moving from Sweden to Italy. I mean, there is, or between Sweden and Germany, that Swedish is very similar to German. There are some, so in his age to move here, to learn Hebrew, to find a job, and also he was divorced with 2 children. That one of them was a minor in shared custody. I mean, there are cases that you cannot match the criteria of Israel. And I told them there is a problem. You was okay with give us some options, but a lot of couples are like us. Like you think automatically that everybody wants to move to Israel, but it's not right to everybody. Then I understood that there is no choice. I must go to the Supreme Court, and to go to the Supreme Court cost a lot of money. So I did two things. One was to speak with somebody who is now a member of the parliament, but she wasn't a member of the she was a lawyer, Gabi Lasky. She said, I will do it for really low price.
Great.
She was really great with us. And because she understood the situation. And Gabi, she's very, I really like this woman. She's very, she understands emotions. Okay. And she's very sensitive to human rights and things like this. So I raised money. From people at the same situation or people who just support the idea. And we went to the Supreme Court. We won.
Wonderful.
Now it wasn't it wasn't a winning the judge say, and then he uses hammer. And it wasn't like this.
It wasn't and go to Sweden, bring him here.
It wasn't like this, because when we entered to the court, the attorney, not attorney? No, they are not attorneys. The lawyers of the state.
Prosecutor?
Prosecutor? I'm not
Defender?
sure. I'm not. Yes, they were defenders actually. I don't know the exact.
Attorneys.
The exact. Yeah, the attorneys.
Yeah.
So they said the first sentence was, we admit the state did something awful to those people.
Wow.
So we agree to work with your side, with our lawyer, and to discuss about new cases, new options for other cases we didn't think about.
Okay.
And after that, Gabi worked with them, and together we decided about other options.
Okay.
So that was the first time. That
and you went 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times.
Oof.
The second time was, as I told you, I went to visit my partner there, and Israel closed the sky also for citizens.
Right.
So I couldn't come back. The thing is that I had to come back. I had a flight less than 24 hours after they closed the sky. I mean, it was the closest flight to Israel. So I couldn't find another flight earlier to come before they closed the sky. So I found myself there in Sweden. And Israelis can be in the EU 90 days every half year. And my 90 days was over after another week. A week after they closed the sky, my 90 days were over. So I was not legal in Sweden. It was very scary. I was afraid from every cop in the street. I was afraid that something will happen to me with insurance, all those stuff. And then I appealed to the Supreme Court from Sweden. During this time, I met this this lawyer. I think during, I don't remember how I met her actually when I think about it.
The time of Corona is so mushy. It's so hard to remember.
And Batya, she was the lawyer who made this appealing. And with another lawyer, Tal, and it was 2 appealings, but we did it on the same thing, so they put it together. And the judges were so very direct in their decision. And they said that the state of Israel hurt the agreement between a citizen and a state. So now they learn it in the law faculty in the Hebrew University.
It's a big statement.
Yeah, it's a big statement.
Can future cases, I don't know how it works here, right? But if the U.S. Supreme Court said there are tacit agreements between citizens and their country, and that the country cannot violate those agreements, then it would be case of people saying this hurts citizens, this hurts citizens.
In the US, I can't see how it's possible that something like this happen. Like closing the sky for citizens. It's not something, and I don't think it will happen again in Israel after this appealing. But the nice thing was that
it is also very, there are 2 international airports here, right? There's just Tel Aviv and Eilat, right?
Yes, there is also a small one in the north. But the main one.
So there's the theory of closing the skies, and then there's only 3 airports, so it is easier logistically.
Logistically, yes, but we have like a border with Egypt and with Jordan, so they also closed those,
the physical
because people
crossings.
go to Sinai and people go to visit Jordan, so they closed also like the borders, like the land
borders too.
And the funny / nice thing during this appealing was that I met so many nice people, and we started to work together, and together we founded like the lobby for the open sky of Israel. And then like the other appealings, I wasn't like signed for them, but every one of us had other position in the group, so we thought we want to open Israel for tourists now. And also I had my personal interest in this because my Swedish partner, he has children, and I wanted them to come,
of course,
so they couldn't come as like family members because we are not married. They could only come as tourists. So I had like an interest in that. So each one of us has like something he did. Like we decided the right thing is to find like business people to sign on this appealing. And to show that this Israel decision hurt them, like hurt their business. So one found the people, one raised the money, one made the lobby, so each one of us, and we appealed twice. And the funny thing was that those 2 appealings didn't get to the court, because after we sent the appealing, the state said, okay, we opened
they saw your name and they're like, okay.
Because I think the reason was that they didn't want another statement of the judges again.
Okay. And so one of the reasons I'm here today is because of you.
Kind of. Not just me. It was a big group of the lobby.
But it was, I watched so many friends with first degree family, and they would go to the consulate and they would get an apostille and the proof, and every week the proof changed, and everybody was like, will it happen, won't it happen, is it? And friends kept asking me, when are you coming, and I'm like, you are like family to me, you're dear friends, but there was no legal way for me to visit.
You had to have the sky to be open, of course.
So it's good. It is very nice to be back.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I don't just bring people on to grill them about their Supreme Court appeals.
Yeah, of course. I know.
But it's so interesting. It is fascinating.
But also after that, they open. I gathered with me Israeli people with the same interest, partners abroad, and some of the people who came too were the partners themselves from abroad, like during the net. And then one of them from Belgium, she told me, we want to make the same in Europe. We want to open the EU borders. Can you explain us what to do?
Oh, wow.
And then they founded the campaign, Love is Not Tourism. If you heard about, I don't know.
I
but
didn't.
It was like in Europe, it was like a big
Wow.
They were several people from different countries inside the EU. Also, I don't think they met each other for real.
Right.
I think that all the work together were like during the net or something. And also they have a website, loveisnottourism.com or .org, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And they made like wonderful campaign. Like
Wow.
it's something to learn about.
Yeah.
I think when you study how to manage campaign in different countries at the same time,
Yeah.
that has the same goal.
Wow. I'll link to it in the
You
show
must.
notes. I will.
Yeah.
Love is not tourism.
Yeah, they are wonderful people.
Wow.
And we were like all the people from all around the world who made campaigns like this.
Yeah.
Even from Indonesia, even from Australia.
Wow.
We were in touch. Like we found each other and we had our own group of the managers of the campaign. So
That's amazing.
it was like a big thing.
Yeah. All I did was sit at home and start a podcast.
Well, I think to start a podcast, it's another great idea to
Yeah.
use your time during COVID.
There was so much time. There was it was 10 hours a week of the commute
Yeah.
plus nights out, right? Like no social life.
No, it was awful.
Yeah.
It was really awful.
And so it was really like after 6 weeks of TV, and I was like, this is not ending.
Oh my God.
It's not ending. So then I started a podcast where I ask people.
But could you go outside?
You could go outside. It wasn't like here. But my work was closed. We worked from home.
From home, okay.
But they turned off our badges. Like no going to the office, no access. Restaurants were takeout only. Takeaway only.
Yeah.
So restaurants and bars were closed.
But could you sit I don't know, in a park?
You could sit in a park. Chicago has 20 miles of beaches.
Yeah.
The beaches were closed.
Oh,
They closed the beach.
you couldn't go to
You
the
couldn't go to the beach, which doesn't make. Now we know that's dumb. That the
of
beach
course,
was
of
safe.
course.
The outside was safe. They didn't do baseball. Like baseball was closed for the summer for like little kids. Playgrounds were closed. Greens were open. Like parks were open, but playgrounds were closed because of like touching.
Ah,
'Cause
yeah,
when
I
we
remember
thought, like-
they saw that if you touch something.
Yeah. So I live across the street from a park with a baseball field.
Yeah.
And the baseball field it's called a dugout, which is where the team sits waiting for their turn. So I met my friends in the dugout. Like, just come and meet me in the baseball field because there was a bench. And so we would bring our food, would bring our drinks, and would sit in a baseball field.
Oh, but it's so much better than what we had in Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. That you could go outside you could go like 100 meters or something from your house.
Yeah.
And
100 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was, I can't say that I was alone. I was with Ananas, my cat. But he will be very angry if he will know that I said I was alone.
right.
While being with him. He has opinions. He speaks a lot.
Yeah.
So actually, I just had conversations with Ananas
Yeah. Yeah.
between four walls.
My building, there's 6 apartments.
Uh-huh.
And so we had a fire pit. We did have a yard. So we would make a fire in the yard, sit outside all winter in the snow, outside with a fire. But like no inside friends.
Yeah.
It wasn't safe.
So you didn't invite friends to your home, for example,
No,
just outside.
just outside.
Oh, so in the winter it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But we made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you do like ice skating or?
You could. I didn't.
Oh,
People
but
could.
I love snow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous
Yeah.
of you that you have snow.
No, we have snow. We had for Hanukkah, my Hanukkah party in 2021, so December 21, was right before, it was between like Delta and Omicron, maybe.
Okay,
Or right
I don't
before
remember the
right?
versions. Yeah.
It was a lull. It was like kind of, we all had vaccines, but like there was this new thing coming.
And you didn't know if the vaccine is enough.
So we did 2 fires in the yard, and cider, hot drinks, latkes in the yard. So we cooked inside, we brought it outside, and then
Okay.
that was like 50 people
That's really
just
nice.
in the yard with fire. So that was like that was super nice. So, and then it was another wave and blah.
Oh, yeah, it was really awful.
Yeah.
I agree.
But Plia, what is one of your favorite things that's not Corona?
Oh, no. The corona was awful. And as much as I really proud of what I did during COVID, I think it was an awful time.
Yes.
I have no love for corona. And believe me, I would be very happy if I didn't have to do what I did. But I thought about what I love, like, before we met, because you explained me what is the podcast about. And I love cats.
Cats. Wonderful. Do you have?
Yes, I have my Ananas. And Ananas, he's a cat. He's a redhead cat. Very, like, he's very spicy cat. And he's a very talkable cat. He has a lot of opinions, and he will tell you all of them. And I met him because when I was young, right after my army service, I still lived with my parents, and there were some cats, under the buildings. There was a cat there who gave birth, and then her daughter gave birth, and it was for Ananas and the other tastes, because the mother, we named her Pizza. And those cats, like, there was the chairman of the board of the building, and his wife, she loved them, so she used to cook for them. I mean, they were kind of a street cat or community cats, but they ate like, believe me, you don't eat well like that. Because they had like private chef, okay?
Amazing.
And I remember when Pizza, she was pregnant, it was a lot of years ago. Ananas, he's now over 15.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think we had like the knowledge like today, to take care that cats will not keep
giving birth. Yeah.
And I actually, as a very, very young woman, I just waited for her to give birth because like I wanted to see the kittens. And she gave birth in the shelter of the building.
Yeah.
But then she took the kittens and she moved them to like a yard of a private house, so I couldn't enter there. And one day I went out and I saw her. I saw Pizza, and she's kind of called me, like she yelled.
She meowed and
she meowed, and like I wasn't sure if I understand it right. I started to walk after her, and all the time she looked back, like to be sure that I'm still coming.
She's like, where? Come on.
Yeah, and then she meowed again, and then I went after her, and she took me to a bush, and she stood in front of the bush, and she meowed, and then 3 kittens came out, and like then I saw, I don't know if to say, sometimes we give animals like we give them human emotions.
Yeah.
So I cannot say for sure, but it looks like she's angry, and she entered inside the bush, and she took with her mouth like another kitten who didn't want to come out, and she put him in front of me, and it was Ananas.
Okay.
He didn't want to come out. But in that moment, like, we became just best friends, me and Ananas. And when I left my parents' home, I took them with me. Pizza and Ananas.
Yeah.
And Ananas, he was such a naughty cat, really. he I always say about Ananas that he wants to destroy the world, and he start with home. Like, he does all the training. So he ruined everything he could ruin at home, like the toilet paper. I couldn't leave toilet paper, like, in places that he can reach, and he could reach everywhere. And back then, I was a student, and, I used to study in the university, but then I had to go to work. So, like, my study started on 8 in the morning, and I finished, I don't know, at 2, at 3, and then I went to work till midnight. So, it was a long day. So I had to make food for this long day, because you cannot buy every time, you know, when you are a student, especially. So I made food. And I used to wake up really early, like before 6 in the morning, to make the food, put it in the bag, and then, to dress, to brush my teeth, and etc., etc. And then I wanted to take my bag with me, and I discovered that somebody was too smart. Well, let's say that my food kind of disappeared. So really, he tried to ruin everything. And one day, I was with my ex-partner. We, like, in Florentine, in this apartment. And one day I looked for, to the window, and I told him, you should see that. There is a cat outside, and he looks exactly like Ananas. He's like his twin. And then I, like, thought another moment, and I'm like, oh my God, it is Ananas. I don't know how you found a way to go out. And, like, I wanted really to shout on him and to yell. And I was really angry on him, because he always ruined things, and he ruined my clothes, and he ruined my shoes. And I remember that day I was really angry, and I wanted to shout on him. And then, like, our eyes matched. And I understood that I just can't be angry with him. Like, I'm too in love with this cat. And, like, since then, we are like twins.
Yeah.
And, like, we have our routine at home, and he hates every man I date with.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't want other men at home. He accepts my father, he accepts my brother.
Okay.
2 friends. And that's all.
That's it.
Like, all the other human males, they are not allowed. Like, he doesn't like them. He is the only man.
My cat Spidey was the same.
Yeah.
He hated any man that would come over. Very few got attention. And I was a waitress, and there was Mama Cat, who nobody could ever catch. And then her kittens born on the patio every year. So this is 21 years ago.
Yeah.
And so every waitress, every waiter, everybody in the kitchen, just everybody had one of Mama Cat's kittens. So I had Spidey, his litter was orangey, peachy, and blacky. And he was peachy, because he was the light orange. So I caught him, and he stole bread. He would steal challah, rolls,
oh my God.
loaves of bread. I moved out of an apartment once, and I moved my bed, and I found rolls and slices of bread Like everything I wondered where it had gone to.
So he and Ananas, they went to the same school.
They went to the same school.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would steal. I mean, this summer, I said goodbye, but till his last day, stealing chicken bones, chicken,
Perfect.
everything.
So he lived like the real cat life.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
It was wonderful.
You know, because cats, they're the real royalty of the world.
Yeah.
And we are actually just slaves.
Yeah.
We should pet them. We should feed them.
Pet them when they want.
Pet them when they... yeah. I forgot this. I think, you know, but if we are talking for seriously, I think it's a very special animal because on one hand they are very independent, and on the other hand, they really, I really do believe they love their humans. There is this Netflix movie now.
The Secret Lives of Cats,
Something
or like the lion in your house.
The mind of cats, and really, it's a special animal.
Yeah,
they are really smart. They know how to manipulate. And when I say manipulate, you know, usually people use this word to talk about bad things, but we manipulate people during our life all the time. Like when you want to get something and not have an argument,
right?
Like you do it in a nice
way.
When you smile to somebody, when it's also a manipulation, and they know how to manipulate to get what they want without having an argument, without so like they are cute and they come to you and like they are so
I'm
you
so
can
hungry.
just
I can't go on.
They make you melt. So they do it in a very smart way. And the fact that they meowing to us, because between themselves,
they don't meow.
Yeah. They meow like because they understood that it's like a baby sound. Yeah. And people cannot ignore it. Yeah.
Because I have another cat. So I have Cowboy.
Oh.
So Cowboy came to me when he was 2 from a coworker who was not a cat person.
Oh, so how did she get it?
So he never eats human food. Like doesn't like no interest because he was raised with people who wouldn't, which is fine. Like it's okay to eat a pizza and not have a cat, you know, in my mouth eating my food.
Yeah, that's nice.
But he also like didn't meow.
Oh, he's quiet.
He's quiet. But now that in the last 2 years of Spidey's life, Cowboy was like, oh, I have to learn how to talk.
Yeah.
Because he won't be here forever. Like he can't talk for me forever. And since Spidey has passed away, Cowboy is meowing and has a whole new personality.
Wow.
But
you see, he learned. I mean, they have the ability to learn.
Yeah.
And they can understand, okay, if I want to connect with this woman, I must to make some noises, like a baby. So she will give me some
extra treats and scritches and cuddles. Yeah, it's really... I thought he was just standoffish and quiet, and he's like, nope, he's a lover. But he also like Spidey was number 1. So now he's number 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe he enjoys it a little bit.
I think so.
You know, to be number one. Yeah.
Because I considered getting kittens, getting like 2 babies.
Do you think he will accept them?
I don't know. But then he's just so nice as a solo cat that I want him to have time.
Yeah. This is why I didn't get like new kittens. Because Ananas, Pizza, she passed away in 2019. And Ananas took it really hard.
Oh, I can't imagine.
He actually cried for 3 months. And he knew that when Pizza, she goes out from the door, she also come back from the same door. When I took her to the vet or something like that. So he just sat in front of the door and cried for 3 months.
Ugh.
It was awful. Like, I have videos of
Yeah.
it. It's awful. And this is another thing that it shows you that they get attached with other animals. And like Pizza, she was very important for him. And now Ananas, he's over 15, so like I don't want him to fight about territory.
Yeah.
Now, and he's like the king of the house. So as you say, number one. Although in his mind he was always number one. So once I bought a kitten. I didn't think to keep him, but I saved him from like after he had a car accident.
Oh.
So I thought after he will get better, I will find him a family. And then, for a long time, no one asked for him. And I thought, okay, maybe I will keep him.
Yeah.
But then Ananas actually tried to kill him.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Ananas.
he swore him to the water bowl. And I said, okay, maybe it's not a good idea, and maybe like Ananas is not a cat who likes to have small brothers. And then I found him a great family for this kitten. Now his name is Oliver.
Aww.
So yeah, I understood that maybe Ananas is better to be alone, and he's a great friend.
Yeah.
They always show love, and they understand when you have a shitty day, and when you are sick.
Yeah.
And when they are fur, it's kind of a level that make you very calm. So I think now it's okay. Like, as the way we are.
Yeah. I think so with Cowboy too. It's just, it's nice. I miss him, being here.
Of course. Who is taking care of him?
I have 3 friends. Because it was a holiday this weekend, normally I'll have someone stay the whole time because I want someone in the house with him.
Okay.
Not just doing meals, but like company.
Yeah.
So
like a cat sitting.
So my friend Jasmine will get there on, I guess today. She'll get there today and stay with him for the rest of the week. But before it was my upstairs neighbor Ezra. He was in charge of food, and my friend Jocelyn was in charge of company. So she would just come and just like watch TV and be with him. Because I don't like to, he's like not super social, but just becoming more of a people cat.
Yeah, that
I didn't want to leave him alone.
that's good that there is somebody
Yeah.
there that he can have interaction
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah. I mean, when the cats were younger, and you could just be like, here's all your food. See you in a week. But that's only if cats don't eat all the food on day 1.
Yeah, with Ananas it will not work.
No.
You will just finish everything on the first moment it's on his plate.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any, is there a cat rescue in Kfar Saba or?
Yes, there is NGO.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like a shared with Ranana. It named the Kfar Saba and Ranana Love Animals. They have a big place actually for cats. And the city municipal council try to help them. I must say that in Israel we have like a big problem with cats. We have a lot of cats in the street, and on one hand I understand that it's very not comfortable for people, but on the other hand there are a lot of people who try to hurt them. And one of the things we are trying to do now, like the people who love cats, is to change the way people see those cats. In the past, we used to call them street cats. And now we change it to community cats. And there are some laws about like you cannot transfer cats from one place to another because cats are very territorial animals. And actually it's like to send them to the death if you transfer them to other place. And about like people who feed cats, you know, there are also some laws like it's legal. It's important that people will know it's legal to feed cats in Israel. But there are some rules, like it's supposed to be dry food and not wet one. It's supposed to be in some distance from like a building.
Okay.
But and like don't give them like bones or things like this. So there is a lot of work around this subject.
Yeah. Wow.
With cats.
Good.
And also people must understand that to keep cats from giving birth, like they are not humans.
Right.
It's not like they have the wish to become parents.
Right.
For their safety, actually, it's better to take care that they will not breed. And this is the best way to have less cats.
Yeah. Yeah, there's programs in Chicago like spay, neuter, catch and release. So they catch them, take care of them, and then they'll like notch their ear.
Yeah.
So you don't catch them again.
Yeah. Also in Israel.
Yeah.
We have it.
And then they do like feral cat communities where they teach people how to like build outdoor shelters for the winter.
Yeah.
Especially in Chicago where there is snow and
yes, of course.
Right.
But you know, also here we have it, and like people build kind of shelters they take cartons and make it, and then they put nylon on it so the rain will not ruin it. But there are some mean people who come and ruin these things. Yeah. And they should think like if it would happen to them, you know, to live outside in the rain in the cold winter.
Well, thank you for coming to talk about cats with me this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
Is there anything you want to promote, or do you want people to follow you online?
You can find me on Facebook, Plia Kettner. And you can look for my campaign. On Facebook, it's We Want to Meet Each Other, or משפחות רוצות להתאחד, and the website is wewanttomeet.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for listening to Finding Favorites with Leah Jones. Please make sure to subscribe and drop us a 5-star review on iTunes. Now, go out and enjoy your favorite things.